the clattering of wheels on tracks, the hum of an approaching trolley. These sounds seem ordinary, yet they set the stage for one of the most thought-provoking ethical dilemmas of modern philosophy. In this journey of thought, we will explore the famous trolley problem, a hypothetical scenario that challenges our moral instincts and forces us to confront difficult choices about life, death, and the greater good. The trolley problem was first introduced by philosopher Philippa Foot in 1967. Originally, it was an academic exercise designed to explore the ethics of decision-making. Foot presented a scenario where a runaway trolley is hurtling down a track, on course to kill 5 people tied to the rails. You stand near a lever that can divert the trolley to another track, where only one person is tied. What would you do? This simple yet profound question has since sparked countless debates, essays, and adaptations, becoming a cornerstone of modern ethical studies. Imagine the scene. 5 strangers are helplessly tied to the main track. The trolley speeds toward them, its brakes having failed. You are an observer but not powerless. You stand by a lever that can divert the trolley to a side track. On this side track, one person is tied. The choice is stark. Do you pull the lever, sacrificing one to save 5? Or do you refrain from acting, allowing the trolley to continue on its course? Each decision carries moral weight. Acting to divert the trolley makes you responsible for a death, but inaction results in 5 lives lost. Which choice feels more justifiable? To answer the trolley problem, we can turn to ethical theories, starting with utilitarianism. This approach, championed by philosophers like Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, argues for maximizing overall happiness or minimizing suffering. A utilitarian would likely pull the lever, reasoning that saving 5 lives at the cost of 1 creates a better outcome for the greater good. Numbers matter in this calculation, and the action taken aligns with a mathematical morality. But is it that simple? Does focusing on outcomes justify sacrificing an innocent life? Deontological ethics, rooted in the philosophy of Immanuel Kant, offers a contrasting perspective. Deontology emphasizes moral principles over outcomes. What matters is whether an action adheres to ethical rules, not its consequences. A deontologist might argue that pulling the lever violates the moral rule against intentionally causing harm. In their view, refraining from action keeps your hands clean, even if the result is tragic. This approach asks, are some actions inherently wrong, regardless of the context or consequences? The simplicity of the trolley problem makes it a flexible thought experiment. Over time, philosophers and psychologists have introduced variations to explore different moral dimensions. In one variation, known as the fat man scenario, you're on a bridge above the tracks. The only way to stop the trolley is by pushing a large man off the bridge onto the track below, sacrificing him to save the 5. Would you push him? Another version replaces strangers with loved ones. What if the 5 people tied to the main track were strangers, but the one on the side track was a family member? Would your choice change? These variations reveal the complexity of moral decision-making and the deep influence of personal values, emotions, and relationships. Interestingly, the trolley problem isn't just a philosophical exercise. It's also a subject of scientific study. Neuroscientists have used this scenario to investigate how our brains process moral dilemmas. Studies show that utilitarian decisions, like pulling the lever, often activate areas of the brain associated with logic and reasoning. In contrast, deontological responses, like refusing to act, engage emotional centers. This interplay of logic and emotion highlights the complexity of human morality. We're not purely rational beings. Our instincts, upbringing, and cultural context all shape our choices. Though hypothetical, the trolley problem has real-world applications. Consider autonomous vehicles. If a self-driving car must choose between hitting a pedestrian or swerving and endangering its passenger, how should it decide? In medicine, similar dilemmas arise in triage situations, where doctors must prioritize limited resources. Who gets life-saving treatment when not everyone can be saved? These scenarios demonstrate how ethical theories like those explored in the trolley problem inform policy, technology, and decision-making in critical fields. The trolley problem may seem like a simple thought experiment, but its depth lies in the questions it raises about human morality. It forces us to confront difficult truths about the value of life, the nature of responsibility, and the limits of ethical theories. While there may never be a definitive answer, the act of engaging with such dilemmas helps us better understand ourselves and the principles that guide us. As the trolley continues down its tracks, the choices remain ours to ponder, a reflection of the complexity and beauty of moral reasoning.